everyone. This is Duncan from Hong Kong Legislative Council. I'm representing the tech and innovation sector in Hong Kong. Happy to meet you all at the Ethereum Shanghai 2023. To start with, I know the organizer want us to talk about the development of Hong Kong in the Web3 strategy and also the Web3 the scene in Hong Kong. I understand that a lot of people actually are quite interested in what's happening in Hong Kong and with the policy announcement from the Hong Kong government since last October. There's been a lot of inquiry from the industry participants and the Web3 people coming to Hong Kong. So I want to start with Hong Kong being the technology center. I think the this is new to someone in the industry. Talking about Hong Kong, I think a lot of people think of Hong Kong as a financial center instead of a tech center. But starting with the 14th five-year plan, the central government has actually given Hong Kong a role in building up Hong Kong as a technological hub for mainland China. So since then, I think there has been quite a lot of policy announcement regarding Hong Kong, building up ourselves as the next technology center. And of course, next to us, we have the Greater Bay Area and also Shenzhen, which has ample development experts in the tech sector. So complementing Hong Kong and regional cities in Greater Bay Area, we're looking to build a Greater Bay technology hub in Hong Kong. And I think there are a few roles that in Hong Kong we want to develop to support Hong Kong as a technology center and also to support the development of Greater Bay Area. So to start with the 14th five-year plan, actually, I assume there'll be also a few things in the role of China to build ourselves into the technological nations. We need support from different area, including Hong Kong. So, I mean, for China, building ourselves as a technological nation, a very strong technological nation, there are a few things we need to be able to build up in terms of the infrastructure and global influence. So number one thing is the currencies, global circulation and global influence. I think I would not go deep into that, but you all know that Hong Kong as a financial center, we actually help the circulation of RMB in the global scene. We're helping to build up more RMB products, derivatives in Hong Kong, so that we can increase the circulation and product depth in the RMB in the world. And in part of that, one other thing that we want to build is the CBDC, which is the e-RMB. Hong Kong has done several announcements that we've been working with the central bank, the National Central Bank and the Monetary Department to build up the e-RMB process and to launch the e-RMB in Hong Kong. And we are also working on the virtual asset build up in Hong Kong. I'm going to talk about that later. And the second element of China building up ourselves as a technological nation is to have upstream technology development. So the second thing that actually Hong Kong is supporting is with several world-leading universities and research team in Hong Kong, we are building up the commercializations of research findings in Hong Kong so that we can have more upstream technological products and research commercialized into products and companies. So we've been announcing several policy into supporting the research and development in Hong Kong and introduce more funding grants to match companies and research companies in Hong Kong to launch technological products and research results so that they can become great companies and unicorns in future. And the third thing we want to build up is the talent base. And to build up the talent base, Hong Kong, we actually introduce several new policy. We have the high talent policy, which is introduced earlier this year. And in a few months, we already attracted 30,000 applicants to Hong Kong, to applying to come to Hong Kong to help build and in Hong Kong start company, work in the tech industries, and involved in R&D efforts in Hong Kong. So we can see that the support for coming to Hong Kong and build up the technological scene in Hong Kong is actually quite popular. So apart from talent, apart from policy, apart from the monetary schemes, if we go deep into the few things that Hong Kong government has launched, this is only the things that we have done in the last 6 months. In the last 6 months, we have, since October last year, the Financial Secretary announced the virtual asset statement from the government, where we stated Hong Kong government will openly and embrace the technology development of Web3 and also virtual assets. So since then, it's only been a little bit more than half year. After the announcements that we have from the Financial Secretary, we also has an IT blueprint, IT development blueprint from our from our Industrial and Technology Bureau, where we have introduced the foundation and blueprint for future development in the technology developments in Hong Kong. And since then, for the virtual asset announcement statements, we have actually, in Legislative Council, we have revised and introduced some legislation regarding this, the development of this sector. We have announced and approved the anti-money laundering, the AMLO ordinance in December last year. And also in January this year, we started, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority started to have the announcements of the consultation regarding stablecoin development in Hong Kong, and also on retail investors' participation in crypto or virtual asset involvement in Hong Kong, participations in Hong Kong. And then in February, actually, the Financial Secretary, again, in the budget, mentioned we will form a virtual asset development committee, which will be introduced soon to talk about the development of Web3 in Hong Kong and the virtual asset definitions, future products and derivatives related in Hong Kong, and the policy, what it will be like. So very soon, I assume that committee will start working in the next few months to come up with further consultation or further discussions of Hong Kong's development of virtual asset market. And we have the virtual asset service provider approved, and since June 1st, which is now this month, we have the application open for virtual asset service provider. So there has been quite a lot of applications in Hong Kong. We assume hopefully end of this year, we will have some new license holder in virtual asset service provider so that they can provide as a platform for different virtual asset to be traded in Hong Kong. And next, of course, stage 5, we will have further upgrade in the legislation. We will need more corporate governance or the industry governance. Hopefully there will be a few industry association formed in Hong Kong so that they will talk about the self-governance of the industry, particular definitions on technological terms, and what kind of product definitions in certain crypto or virtual asset products in Hong Kong in future. So these are all the things that we need to come up with to have policy and industry governance. At the same time, also legislation from the government side, where we can talk about the laws and regulations relating to the development of Web3 and virtual assets. And with the sorry, this is in Chinese, but I will try to explain in English. With the virtual asset service angle, we now have two current operator in Hong Kong, which is already licensed to trade and issue virtual asset products. So they are the OSL and HashKey on the bottom left corner. And as I mentioned, the next stage is the AMLO, which is the Anti-Money Laundering Ordinance, which we already approved. And in that, we have included the trade and transfer of cryptocurrency and stablecoin related. So we defined it, the trade itself, and we will definitely have to talk about further products in future, let's say STO, etc. And things like NFT in Hong Kong has been clearly defined. If the NFT doesn't have a currency nature, if it's just for collection, just for trade purpose, and it would not be regulated and in Hong Kong. So it's free to buy and sell here without any restrictions, unless the NFT has monetary elements. Otherwise, it will not be regulated in Hong Kong. So it's a very clear statement, and we will be talking about the STO and other products in future. And since the about the end of last year and earlier this year, we have introduced a free ETF product related to crypto. So there's a Bitcoin related, there's a Bitcoin ETF, and there's an Ethereum ETF, and also we have Bitcoin futures ETF introduced in Hong Kong, which I think the introduction was quite successful. Is quite widely traded in Hong Kong, and we can assume there will be more crypto or virtual asset related products, ETF, to be issued in Hong Kong. And fourth, regarding the licensing requirement, of course, for the virtual asset service provider license or the VATP license, it needs to be a Hong Kong registered company. We need to hire people with certain particular knowledge, in this case, particular knowledge and experience in dealing with virtual assets and crypto products. So these are the people we need to demonstrate in a company before they can apply for the license in Hong Kong. And in the beginning, of course, the products will only be open to professional investors in Hong Kong. And their definition of professional investors, I wouldn't go into that. And the company also need to demonstrate they have enough capital to carry on the business. We don't want people to start a platform without being capital, so that they cannot protect the retail investors and the professional investors' interests. So these are all the requirements for applying for the virtual asset service provider license. And of course, definitely they have to have self-governance, they have to have good corporate governance, transparency, how do they protect the client assets, etc. and etc. So I'm sure Hong Kong has a very stringent financial regulations. We have very stringent monetary monitoring, so that we can make sure the service provider in Hong Kong are healthy financially, and they can provide good service to the clients, and they will not run into problems like FTX, etc. So this is a method that Hong Kong we want to do slowly but safely in terms of working on virtual assets market establishment. And the SFC has also introduced a consultation on retail investors investing in virtual assets in Hong Kong. So that's undergoing. So we assume hopefully there will be announcement soon that in Hong Kong we will allow retail investors in buying and dealing with virtual assets. And another thing that we've been undergoing consultation is the stable coin and the stable coin regulations. We will soon we have just introduced the second round consultation on stable coin, and that we will soon going to conclude and come up with the consultation results. So these are the area when we talk about stablecoin. I know that there has been quite a lot of interest in the stablecoin development in Hong Kong. So in the paper, we actually consult people about the foundation of stablecoin, the corporate governance, the issuing, the burning of stablecoin, supply demand calculations, and also how to provide a safe stablecoin environment, the keeping of the private keys and custodians. Also, definitely it has to cover all the governance issued, fund capital sufficiency issue, anti-money laundering, how to do the KYC, AML, and there's a lot we want to cover in stablecoin. So we want to make sure if we launch a stablecoin in Hong Kong, it is safe and trustworthy, so that it won't go into any of the trouble that we see in other stablecoins. And also, definitely in Hong Kong, we do not allow algorithm-based stablecoin. So we have to have a clear definition of where the asset is backing the stablecoin issuance. So these are all the things that the consultation framework have listed out, and we expect, as I said, hopefully next year early next year we're gonna have the we're gonna have the results, and we will lay out the framework for how Hong Kong stablecoin will be deal with, and who's the suitable issuer of the stablecoin, etc., etc. So this is the ETF I mentioned that were listed in Hong Kong. The trade was okay, and we expect more product like these to be issued in Hong Kong. So talking about not just virtual asset, we're not just talking about tokenization and crypto assets. There are also other products involved. One is a CBDC. You can see that in terms of CBDC, definitely that's a national issue. So it has to go back to our central bank and Beijing, and how they see the CBDC launching developments. And Hong Kong will provide as a monetary framework and support in the issuance of CBDC. And according to this chart that I'm sharing, China is actually one of the most forefront nation in getting ready for CBDC. You can see that the only country with a launched CBDC is Nigeria in Africa, which I think the influence is small or minimal globally. But the country that are really doing pilot and thinking about issuing CBDC, China is one of the forerunner, and I think we have been preparing for the issuance of a CBDC RMB for a few years. And in Hong Kong, to support our central policy in launching the CBDC, we actually have done a few years' work in preparation for the ECNY or the CBDC. Starting from 2019, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority has already worked with other countries in building up a M-Bridge system. The M-Bridge system is to prepare the launch of CBDC and cross-nation exchange and trading of these e-currencies. And we did try the M-Bridge program launch with Thailand, UAE, and other countries. And we have also launched in 2021 our FinTech 2025 policy, where in the FinTech 2025 policy, we have introduced that Hong Kong will launch the Hong Kong dollar and also the CNY as Hong Kong as a as a state, as a city and monetary foundation to actually build these CBDC products. And we have these fast track model. I'm not going deep into it, but I want to show you that we are ready and we're building the foundation for Hong Kong dollar and ECNY. And this is also the pilot and also the preparation work we have done for the CBDC, Hong Kong dollar especially. And you know, look at it as a railroad that we have to build out the rail and also test run. So we already have the rail, which is the foundation build, and we also have the pilot run trial for a few times. So we're looking forward very soon. We are ready to launch the Hong Kong dollar. And next, what we're going to do apart from, you know, as I mentioned, we have the virtual asset service provider license so that we will have platform to trade virtual asset products. And we also have the government side preparation for the Hong Kong dollar and CNY, which is more the CBDC thing. So in terms of virtual assets in Hong Kong or Web3 that we are promoting, there are more than that two things. There are also other things which is in the umbrella of the virtual assets. And we are going to work out and launch different products. One we can do is there are many financial products in Hong Kong. Every year we will launch hundreds of billions of dollars worth of financial products in Hong Kong. These are debts, derivatives, and all the other indexing products. And of course, the IPO, share issuance in Hong Kong. So all these products we can sort of tokenize or blockchain for the better use and better issuance of these products. So this is also another huge market in terms of the virtual asset build-up. And we already tried last year to build the green bond with blockchain. So we have tokenized green bond. We issue 800 million Hong Kong dollar tokenized green bond. So we will assume more and more bonds in Hong Kong will be issued with blockchain and tokenized. So that actually is more environmental friendly, number one. And number two, it actually increased the trading efficiency. So let's say for the tokenized green bond, previously we have to trade at a T+5 time frame. So it takes a few days to complete a transaction. And with a tokenized method, we can shorten that to T+1. So we save a few days in the trading time, and is more transparent, and you know, is more environmental safely. So you know, we're gonna have more products in Hong Kong launch with a tokenized status, and also with blockchain and DLT technology use. So when we conclude in Hong Kong, when we are talking about the virtual asset buildup in Hong Kong, it's not just the virtual asset platform where we allow dealing and issuance of product like crypto product, like virtual asset related product like crypto ETF, and other kind of STO, utility token, etc. on the platform. There is also CBDC related and CBDC related products in the future. And also number three, these are the tokenized financial products that we already have in Hong Kong, and the products that we actually issue normally under traditional method will all be migrated to a tokenized method. So this is a huge market we are talking about in Hong Kong. This is a new way of financial dealings, and this is hopefully the future of fintech and financial markets in Hong Kong. And in Legislative Council, as a member of the Legislative Council, we are working hard on coming out with new law and legislations in Hong Kong to enable the development of the virtual asset market here. Thank you.